Am I the a-hole for showing my girlfriend pictures of my attractive ex-girlfriend after she called all my exes ugly and said I was lucky to be with her? Some history here. Let's call my girlfriend Rachel. Rachel and I first met in college. We had the same major, lived in the same dorm. Wait, I thought girls and boys didn't live in the same dorms. I thought they had different buildings. I went to college, you guys, but I just never lived in a dorm before. We used to hang out all the time, and though we weren't a couple, everything was going that way. We would cuddle together, eat meals together. Everything changed, though, once she started going out to frat parties. I remember one night, our dorm group going out, guys and girls, and we walked to the frat houses, and the frat bros at the door told us the girls could come in, but no guys allowed. After that night, Rachel lost interest in me and started pursuing frat guys. At the time, I was hurt, but I wasn't shocked this happened. I still went and dated other people and lived my life and had a good college experience. We then didn't talk in person until we were both 30. 3 months ago, I posted a story of food and Rachel asked me out over Instagram. We started dating, and throughout our relationship, Rachel has been the one to pursue me more. She was the one that asked to be exclusive, is asking me to post her on my Instagram. I say this because despite that, she has tried to frame the relationship as that I am the super lucky guy, that I got a girl out of his league, and that I should be super grateful. Recently, she was asking to see pictures of my exes. I told her there's no good to come out of that. She then pressed me and then said it's probably because they are all ugly. I told her I dated attractive women before you. I'm a pretty handsome guy. She then said something about men and their egos. I was like, okay. Then I pulled out Instagram of my ex. Rachel did not believe I dated her, so then I showed selfies of us together. She then asked what my ex did for work. I think hoping that I would say she had some bad job or something. I told her she was a recruiter for Meta. Rachel then asked how old she was. I told her she's 24. Then she said, oh, well, I looked like that when I was 24. And I was like, okay, but you are 30 now. After that, I saw her look at me. Then I saw tears started to come. She got quiet, then left the room. When I tried to comfort her, she just told me to leave. I haven't been able to talk to Rachel. Really, she has just sent me one-word replies. When I talked to my female friends, they said my, oh, well, you are 30 comment basically made her feel old and unattractive. That what I did was purposely mean and trying to humble her. For me, I did not even want to do. I don't get it though. I feel like she was asking to be humbled because her ego was too big, like calling random women that had nothing to do with you ugly and all this stuff. That was very unnecessary and unprovoked, but whatever. For me, I did not even want to go down this path. I just wished we could leave our exes in the past and be happy we have each other now. Am I the a-hole for kicking my son's girlfriend out of my house for being lazy and rude? I, female 42, live with my husband of 7 months, Roland, 45 male, and my son, Stylus, 20 male. My son had been seeing a girl named Louisa, 19 female, for a little over a year. About her, I only met her a handful of times. She grew up in foster care and lived in special supervised accommodations for young people who have aged out of the system. She also received some kind of settlement totaling over $100,000, so she at least had a little money to her name. The day before Roland and I got married, my son tells me that Louisa decided to leave where she lived because she felt she lacked privacy due to frequent visits from the building supervisors. She'd been looking for an apartment for months with no success, as she's unemployed and most landlords in my city require proof of employment. She had already notified the folks that had transitory accommodation that she would be leaving, so she had nowhere to go once the deadline for her to leave arrived. He asked if she could come stay with us until she figured things out, which I agreed to without much thought as my mind was occupied with all the last-minute wedding preparations. 10 days later, after the wedding, she moves in. We all agreed that this would be a temporary situation until Louisa found her own place. We discussed what my house rules were. Treat everyone with respect and pick up after yourself. I also told Silas and Luis that if they haven't found accommodations after 1 month, I would start charging them a bit of rent to cover the increased expense of having a new household member. For the first month she was with us, she did no chores and would leave dirty dishes in the sink. My husband and I called a family meeting where we discussed how we would like the chores to be split. She rejected all but one of the chores on the list, cleaning the bathroom, which she rarely did to the point where we just didn't bother asking her to do it anymore. Then for the disrespectful behavior, yelling, cursing, screaming at me when I confront her about undesirable behaviors, complaining that we made too much noise when we're getting ready for work in the morning, etc. After an argument in November, I told my son that she needed to be out of my house by March 1st. She just stayed in my son's room all day doing heaven knows what while he went to school and work. In mid-February, I reminded Celeste that she was to be gone by March 1st. Then February 29th rolls in. That morning as my husband was leaving for work, Louisa screamed from my son's room, OMG, why does he have to be so effing loud? When Celeste came out of his room, I told him that she needed to leave. Things escalated and the cops got involved. She and my son are now gone. I reached out to my son so that we could talk, but it's been the silent treatment from him since. Am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. I feel like OP was more than accommodating. Honestly, after a month, I would have kicked her out because it's so disrespectful. As a grown 19-year-old adult, that's disrespectful. Someone takes you in, they try to like being homeless is literally so hard today. What do you call it? Especially for a woman. Someone did such a nice favor for you, to take you into their home for a month. And aside from not doing any chores, you're yelling at people and how they can and can't act in their own home, cussing at people, yelling at them, disrespecting them, being so loud and obnoxious. Absolutely not. OP is definitely not the a-hole.